Hi, I'm Alyson the crocheter.
And I'm Vivian the knitter, and this is the Keep Calm and Carry On podcast.
Hello, and welcome to episode 125 of Keep Calm and Carry Yarn. This is a knitting and crochet podcast brought to you by me, Alyson, and my mom, Vivian. I'm coming at you from Scotland.
And I'm recording from Florida. You might know me from Pearl and Plum, where I make and sell project bags for knitters and crocheters. And Alyson, my daughter, is the fabulous publisher behind Moorit, the independent magazine for crocheters.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, whether you're listening on a podcast app or watching along on YouTube. Hello. It is the August episode because we have made the switch to monthly episodes because mostly it's my fault because I'm too busy.
And I have baby brain, so I completely forgot about the second paragraph that I was supposed to say. Thanks for jumping in.
Baby brain because you are
I'm
now
a new
grandmother. And I am an aunt.
Yes.
And that is why my mom is in Florida.
Yeah.
With my sister, and she's got the privilege of having the first baby of this generation on both sides of like our family in terms of like our two sets of grandparents. This is the first great grandchild for them.
Yes.
Each.
For us, and then on the dad's side, there's been others, so not as special on the dad's side, but super special on our side. And Emily.
Everyone's obsessed.
We are all obsessed. Emily had a little boy, and we are just taking pictures every day.
I am literally just like scrolling through the same pictures because, like, I mean, you've sent quite a few pictures, but just the same ones. I don't get any, like, even if there's no new ones, I'll just, like, open it, like, every 2 hours just to look at his little face, and Sam is making fun of me because he's like, it's just a baby, it's the same picters, why are you looking at them over and over again? I'm like, because. Or, like, I'll be, like, grinning to myself at my phone. He's like, are you looking at pictures again? I'm like, yes. Or I'll be like, no, it's a video this time.
Yes, he was born with a full head of hair, just like his mama. So, and he's looking more and more like his mom every day. When he first came out, I was like, I thought you would look more familiar, but he didn't look very familiar. Because when I held my nieces, but then they had been maybe a month old by the time I saw them. Yeah. Holding them, they all felt familiar. Like, I could have birthed you. You look like you could have come from me. You know what I'm saying? And but holding this one, he didn't look familiar until like the next day. Like, there it is.
Yeah.
So it's been a thrilling ride. I got here just in time. She went a week earlier than her due date, and I arrived 4 days before, something like that. I don't even remember anymore. Everything is a blur. They've gotten, of course, less sleep than I have, but I haven't gotten that much sleep either. Okay. So that is the baby update.
Yes.
Do you want to jump into our projects?
Yeah, sure.
Our whips.
Have you been what have you got going on?
I have a bunch of whips. Let's see. Which one should I talk about? I started a new one, and this one is...
Well, presumably, you only brought a certain amount with you.
Yeah, I didn't bring anything big. This is I wrote it down. It's in... I don't know what language it's in, but Sydänmaa. And the first A has the dots on it.
Yeah.
Mittens by Hanna Leväniemid. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's...
I think it's Finnish.
Is it Finnish? But it's a free pattern that I got on Ravelry. And this is the yarn that Madeline gifted me last year when she went to Iceland. And here's
nice.
this is what it's called. I'm not even gonna attempt to.
You'll
I'm not even
GILHAG.
It's a worsted weight, and it feels nice in your hand, but I didn't want it. It doesn't feel so good like close to my face. So even though I had enough for a nice cowl, I decided to do mittens, and it's got this. So it's got a cable. It's cables in the palm, not the palm, the back of your hand.
Yeah.
And it's got a different thumb gusset that I've used to making. So it starts like in the middle of the palm, and then you start and you increase, and it's like a slanted sort of increase. So
it's very distinct, like you can see it very distinctly.
Yeah. So it's not like on
almost
the
like
edge of the mint like most of the ones I've done.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of like a raglan line.
Yeah. So that's what I was working on before I left. I haven't actually touched it since I got here, because I was working on my airplane project, which is also something that I started new. And and I actually finished it. So it's not a whip. And my main whip is the Velvety Air wrap by Sweater Freak, and I am on the third color. The what is it?
Yeah, right. This one.
The contrast color.
In your gradient.
Yes. The Miss Babs. The Miss Babs that I bought at Rhinebeck.
Yeah. This was the shawl that we both decided the name doesn't suit, because it's very geometric and graphic, like bold.
Yeah.
But it is a cool pattern.
It is a cool pattern. And it's actually pretty easy to knit on, because it is mosaic. So all the color work is done with slip stitches. So you're only holding one color at a time. It is kind of boring to work on, actually, to tell you the truth. But it's a beautiful pattern, and I'm loving how it's turning out, and it is very mindless. Once, like, I do have the chart for the mosaic on my phone, so I can at least, I don't have to drag my iPad everywhere, and it's easy to see, like, even if I haven't been using the chart on my phone, because I keep the notes, on my iPad. It's very easy to see which row you're on if you haven't looked at, the other chart, because my charts don't sync. I have it, so I don't have it. It doesn't go into the cloud, my charts.
Right.
I just don't have it set. I mean, I could do that. I just don't have it set up that way. I didn't want my cloud to take up, because I have a lot of patterns. I didn't need my phone to carry all of those. So anyway, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful pattern, and I actually saw this on somebody's Instagram, the pattern, just the other day. It's like, oh, I'm making that one.
Somebody making one, not like
no. It was either Sweater Freak or Miss Babs that they were the ones that featured it. So yeah, it's looking pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it does look good. But yeah, I was just thinking, like, definitely when you were saying it's a little bit boring, you are definitely, like, between the color work and the cable knitting, like, you like your
I do like I like to be challenged,
but
I like the challenge
thinking
of that. So
projects.
it's hard for me to just do, because over here it's just garter stitch mostly. Garter stitch when you're fading. And there's one row, a couple of rows of extra yarn overs, like you do a double yarn over, and then the next row you drop the yarn over, so that's not that exciting. But it looks great. I mean, it looks fabulous. So I think once I block it, you'll be able to see those double yarn overs better. But right now it's kind of squished into
So do those come out as, like, what does that actually
They just look like bigger holes.
Okay.
Like little almost like little eyelets.
Like tiny eyelets?
Not tiny eyelets. You can see like the yarn, and almost like the yarn is doing like a zigzag, like a. Can you see?
Is that in the? Oh, okay. So that's in the solid band. Well,
yeah, that is in the fading part.
The one color. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's two colors there. It's the green and the gray over here.
It's basically because so it's like bands of like what I want to call solid color, but it's not because it's faded.
Yeah.
But then the other bands are the geometric, which are definitely like two colors.
Yeah, this is you're fading
like more contrast.
Fading the contrast colors, and then in the geometric mosaic part, you have the main color, which is a dark. It's a navy blue, so it really pops.
With the CC, the contrast in color. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was gonna bring this to Emily's knitting group, but then she went into labor, so we didn't go to knitting group that day.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's that, and then my third whip is my Advent mitten garland by Kathy Lewinski. No, but I finished it just before I left. This is number 7, and I feel like the contrast is not as good as I had anticipated. It's a gray. It's like a medium gray and a red. It might look better on the camera, but
is that just a very like a?
It's just geometric. Geometric. It is number 7, and so the reason why I say it's the contrast isn't that great because it's hard to see the 7.
Oh yeah, no, okay, now I see what you mean because I thought that was like the backs. Like, does this have a 7 on both sides or just one side?
No, just the one side, just on the.
Okay, so I thought you were showing me like the other side or something. But yeah, no, the 7 is definitely kind of hard to see.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't think I started the next one. I don't even remember anymore. I mean, I've been here for almost exactly a week now. A week and I've been here for 8 days, and I've already forgotten like what I have at home. I think I have another project, a big project at home? I don't even remember anymore. Okay, so those.
You know what? I don't think it really matters because you don't have it with you.
No, I don't. So I won't see them for another 5 weeks. So those are my whips.
Okay, my whips are familiar as per usual, but I'm still working on my Sage Shrug by Rosina Northcott, and that was in my medium yarn. And sorry, just dropping hooks. I kind of paused because I need to get another ball of yarn out of the drawer, which I just haven't. So I think I'm halfway. No, more than halfway. That's a sleeve. And I'm gonna start so like that solid bit of just plain stitch will be in the back, and then I'm gonna start this next band of like slightly open stitch, which will start the next sleeve.
It looks great.
So yeah,
I can't wait to see what buttons you pick for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go button shopping actually, because the other thing I'm still working on is my South Shore cardigan.
Ooh.
And I am still working on it, but I am now on the button band. And I've just managed it. Oh my god. There's cords everywhere. So I don't know. Obviously, I've never done a button band like this before, so I'm sure there's probably different ways to do it. But for this one, I had to
pick up stitches.
Use a new yarn to pick up stitches. Can you also just pick up the stitches that are already there? Or do you normally use a new yarn?
There shouldn't be any stitches there along the edges. It would have been...
Or loops, not stitches, I guess. Anyway, yeah, so I've done that, and it's very long, and I don't have a long enough cord, but luckily I've got lots of, Tunisian crochet cords, so I've just got, random cords. And I've just finished the last of the buttonholes.
Oh, okay. So what kind of buttonhole does...
There are my buttonholes. So the button band is double knit.
The button... Oh, it's a completely different yarn. Is that what you're saying?
It's the same. No. What? It's double knit, where you do the you slip every other stitch.
Oh.
And then you knit it on the other side.
Oh, okay. It's tubular.
Is that... Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a tubular. Oh, the whole button band is like that?
Yes.
Like from bottom around the neck to...
Uh-huh.
Oh, I've never done that before.
So it's
like a tubular. Yeah, it's a tubular button band.
Oh, I see. I just pulled it, so I'm like, oh, it is a tube. So the whole thing is like that.
So you're gonna have to Kitchener the whole entire thing.
Why
Kitchener? Graph the... I don't know what your pattern looks like, so I'm not gonna say. So I, at the end of every other row, I pick up another stitch that's already like worked around the edge. Oh.
So it's done at the same time.
Done...
The button band is just...
Yeah, I see it now.
It's just worked along
okay.
I've
never done that before.
Edge. Oh, well, I figured it out. And I kind of forgot about the fact that my tension was slightly different than the pattern, so I was like, oh, do I want to make the button band as wide as what it says it is, because it's going to be wider than the... So I think I did 2 less stitches just to make it not a super wide button band. And like it's definitely not the tidiest. Like I struggled with the
holes.
Split, like, the holes. And like I can see places where I must have purled on accident or I've done something, but it's not enough to go back and fix it because I wouldn't know how to. And also the very end kind of like flares out.
Oh yeah. I don't think...
But I figured I could just sew in the end. Pull it in.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never done that before. You're doing something
I've
never done.
It's tedious.
It is. Yeah, I can see that.
And then like as well, when I've picked up my stitches, I think I did it too loose. So as I've been going, once it's like on my needle, I've been just like pulling the loops tighter. So now I've got like these random bits, so that will just go all the way to the end eventually. But yeah, so it's kind of almost done. I don't know how long it will take me to actually finish. There's so look at all these ends. I don't even know. So yeah, that will take me a while. So I'll need to get buttons for this and for the shrug. So yeah, those are my whips.
Oh, great.
Just toss that over there. Yeah. Will we do our BuzzFeed quiz?
Yes. What did I do with my iPad? Oh, it's right here. Let's see. I picked this one, and it's called... Oddly enough, your movie preferences will reveal which music genre matches your vibe. It's a mouthful. And I got... classical music.
Oh.
Did you get the same thing?
No.
Okay. You're like classical music. You're a defined and mature individual, and you have a deep passion for the arts. Everyone wishes they could be more like you. I don't know how much of that is true.
So I got jazz. You're like jazz. You're an old soul with a heart of gold. You always walk with a little pep in your step. I don't know if that's true, but... and in fact, I feel like that's the opposite of... I recently just did like a workplace like insight thing. Like basically think like Myers-Briggs, INFP, whatever, but not quite that. And I got this whole printed profile of myself, and I'm very like analytical and quite cold apparently. And there's like lines about it being like, do not touch Alyson. When in a meeting with Alyson, do not sit too close to her. I'm like, oh gosh. It really thinks I'm not a touchy-feely person.
Which is so not true, but you are very analytical.
Yeah, and I'm not like the most touchy-feely, but I'm definitely not, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had to pick a bunch of movies for this one. And I found it pretty easy. I was like, bang, bang, bang. I reckon...
Yes.
Sorry.
You want how many questions are there? Are there a lot of questions?
There's not too many.
Okay. You want to go through all of them then, real quick?
Sure. So pick a movie from the 80s between E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Shining, or Dirty Dancing.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. An animated film, Ratatouille, Spirited Away, Shrek, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man.
No, I picked Spider-Man too.
Well, I did get Jazz the first time around.
Okay. So, I don't think I've ever seen Spirited Away.
I know I haven't.
Okay. A musical film, High School Musical, The Sound of Music, Sweeney Todd, La La Land.
Sound of Music.
I went for La La Land.
I haven't seen.
I've only seen it once.
I haven't seen it at all.
And then
Disney
pick
princess.
a Disney princess film: Little Mermaid, Cinderella, Frozen, Mulan.
Mulan.
Okay, a sci-fi fantasy film.
This is
Avatar.
one where I changed my mind on.
Okay, so it was Avatar, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. It's a bit weird. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, or Blade Runner.
Lord of the Rings.
You either... See, I picked Lord of the Rings as well.
So the first time I picked Harry Potter, but then the second time around I was like, I don't like the first part as much as I like the second part. So I picked Lord of the Rings, and I like Lord of the Rings, so...
Yeah. I think it felt like a betrayal to not pick Harry Potter, but I was kind of along the same lines. I'm like, of all the Harry Potter movies, like, that's not the one I would pick as, like, okay, and then finally, a film franchise between Star Wars, Twilight, Bridget Jones, and James Bond. Star Wars? Mm-hmm. Did you go for James?
Star Wars.
Yeah, so we only have one difference?
Yeah, I guess.
That being the musical.
Yeah.
I think if I hadn't picked La La Land, I might have picked The Sound of Music. I did listen to a podcast about a woman who loved The Sound of Music as a kid, and it was like a 2-part VHS, but she never knew there was a second part. So the whole like Nazi plot line, she was not aware of it at all. And so only as an adult did she watch the second half of the film.
So it just ended with them going off on their honeymoon? Or the wedding. The wedding. It ended because in like the old time, the intermission is right after the wedding. Because if you watch it, like the way it was played in the movie theaters in the 60s, there was an intermission. And it was right after the wedding. So yeah, that was
feasible ending.
Okay. I'm classical and you're jazz. I'm not sure about the everyone wishes to be more like you. I mean, that's definitely...
I'm sure some people would want to be more like you. Cool. So, I know you have an FO because you've...
Yes. So...
let it slip.
Yeah. So basically, Jillian asked for a pussy hat. And of course... Knowing me, I didn't want to just do a plain stockinette hat, so I had to make up my own which way? My own cabled pussy hat. So here it is.
Is that based off of the Taylor Swift cardigan or no? Just similar.
No, it's not. It's not.
Cables?
It's just I made it up. Like I cast on 100 stitches, and I mean I ripped it out like 4 times before I settled on the cables that I liked.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So it's like, sort of like a...
I guess
do
the big
cables have names?
They must. The main cable, the big cable. I guess that it's kind of like the Taylor Swift.
It's like the kind where it's got like got the big like diamond-y sort of shape.
Yeah, and then it's got stuff.
A lot of negative.
And it got a different texture in the middle.
Stitch. Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, So.
And in case anybody doesn't know, I mean, I think you can make a pussy hat in whatever shape you want, but like the classic one is just a rectangle.
It's just like a rectangle. Or this one.
And then when you put it on your head, the corners of the rectangles become the ears.
Yeah. So So this was.
Wait, put it on again.
This was a Malabrigo reel, so it's like a heavy worsted weight.
Nice. I like it.
I hope she likes it. I think it would be really cute with pom-poms. So then it wouldn't look like a pussy hat anymore. It's my own version of a pussy hat. And then, did I have another one?
Uh,
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
My oops. I'm gonna find the picture because I don't have it with me.
Is it the candy corn dog
Yeah,
sweater?
the candy corn dog sweater. So I finished that at home and I tried it on my neighbor's dog.
Ah! Oh, it's your neighbor's dog. Nice.
Yeah. So she's about the same size as, she's a little bit smaller than my sister's dog. And
What's the dog's name?
Winnie.
I don't even know.
She's a cockapoo.
Winnie.
So she's a little bit like, she's got a little bit more girth and she's got plenty of room in there, but not too big. Oh, and then I do have a third FO. I haven't woven in the ends yet, but it's my purse socks number 12. I finished that at the hospital.
Nice.
When Emily was... No, actually, I didn't really work on it when she was in labor, but after she was finished, and yeah, so when everybody was napping, I was just sitting there knitting, knit.
Nice.
So yeah, we
Self-striping yarn?
So yeah, I mean, it's not quite self-striping. It's like the stripes aren't really consistent. It's more like
they're not really stripes.
variegated that you have a little bit of striping.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when I got, was it this yarn? When I was like, oh, do you guys have self-striping sock yarn? And she's like, yeah, here. I'm like, that's not self-striping, but okay. But I like the colors. And it came with, it's Dream in Color Smushy. And it came with 100 grams of this pink stripy-ish yarn. And then a little mini skein of this blue, this bright royal blue color for the toes and heels. I think you probably would have had enough for the top, the ribbing, but I don't know if it depends on how much ribbing you put up there.
Yeah.
So that's that. My projects. All these are all of my projects. Well, sort of, that I have with me. I do have some more sock yarn to start a different sock.
To start purse sock number 13.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be here for a total of 6 weeks. So I'm like, I don't know. And I've only been here for a week and I finished these things.
So go to the yarn store.
Yeah. Okay. You got some...
Well, this seems as good a time as any, because I don't have any FOs. But what I do have is the fact that I've finished issue 5 of Moorit, and that is currently available for pre-order. And the keen-eyed among you will notice that there's some samples behind me. I don't know if
that's your FO.
Yeah, I didn't make... Oh wait, no, that's not true. I did make one of these. Hold on. So I made a pretty basic pattern for this issue, I will say. I made the hat, Ardnamurchan. It's just a beanie.
You designed it too. You didn't just make it.
Yeah, I designed it. And I made it. I made 2. So it's just a very simple beanie, color blocked in half, like top and bottom, with like a surface pattern.
It's not. Doesn't look very simple to me.
It seems simple to me. I don't know. Sometimes I think that's the thing about like, publishing. I don't know. This is the thing with anything. You put down your own work, but so the surface pattern is supposed to be, or it is inspired by like cut crystal whiskey tumblers, whiskey glasses.
Yeah, I see that.
So it's kind of like diamond.
I like the blue one
in the middle. And so in fact, my husband is the one who came up with the concept.
So what is the name of the pattern?
Ardnamurchan.
Oh, okay.
Which is a name of, I can't remember. I think it's probably a name of a whiskey distillery. But yeah, so basically Sam's idea was, what if you made a hat that was, kind of orangey gold at the bottom, and then like white at the top, and then maybe like with the pattern of the whiskey glasses. And like I don't think he knew how that would, like how you would do that, but that was just his concept. And I was like, yeah, actually, I think I could do something like that. Which is why, so one of the samples is in Along Avec Anna. Her yarn, it's just a merino, and it's kind of in a mustardy at the bottom, and then a very pale pink at the top. And then the other one, the yarn is from Caithness Yarns, 100% wool, and that's a sort of grayish at the bottom and navy at the top.
I bought some of his yarn at Perth in March.
Yeah, I think that is actually where I bought this yarn as well. And yeah, in the issue, they are modeled by I've got three models in issue 5. All of them are just friends of mine. One was the model from issue 1, Haley, and then my friend Charlotte, and then my friend Will. And the reason why I had to have Will is because one of the jumpers that was designed was specifically a menswear jumper, and then another one was very gender neutral, so I had to have a dude in there. We didn't have to, but it was nice.
Well, I feel like the sweater that you have right behind you, that could be gender neutral.
Yeah, I think so. But it was just specifically designed to be worn by a man. But yeah, so I guess these hats are my FOs. I finished them ages ago. Yeah. Earlier this year.
You were still working on them in March. I remember you were like furiously trying to finish them.
Yeah, because
and designing them at April. The same time.
Yeah. Because I was just so busy doing everything else for the magazine. I was like, crap. I was supposed to design something. Get it done. Yeah. So those are my FOs, and then just the magazine in general. So the magazine goes on official sale on the 26th of September, which is a Tuesday. It's just available for pre-orders at the moment. But we're going to run a cow.
Yes, our first crochet along. Just crochet along.
Yes, this time it is a C cow, not a CK or KC cow. Although technically there is a knitted pattern in issue 5. So if you really, really wanted to, you could do something knitted because there's a knitted pattern.
I told Madeline, like, maybe I should just wait until issue 5 comes out and do that one knitted project. And she told me, that would be cheating, Mommy.
So we're going to have a Moorit cow starting from the launch of the 5th issue. Obviously, you can have a look, do some swatches before that or whatever, and then it will run until the end of the year. And you can do anything from any of the previous 4 issues or the current 5th. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I cheated.
I already know what. Did you start swatching?
I started swatching. So
that's not cheating.
I'm doing the which one? The Meshi, the
Zani.
The Zani, yeah. And
from issue 4, which is the
candy one, the sweet shop one.
The sweet shop, but that's the cover design.
Is that the front? I don't know which way is the front.
So you've gone for a dark teal and a sea foamy sort of color, or is that just a light blue?
Or like a mint, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. It's like a teal and a lighter color.
That's definitely more like if I were gonna wear it, I'd go for those colors as opposed to the purple and yellow.
I'm having a hard time with the gauge. I feel like my even though the gauge is pretty close, but my holes seem bigger than on the picture.
It might just be the difference in the yarn.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to wear a camel salt underneath it. But yeah, I was having a lot of fun with it. I mean, when I first looked at the chart, I was like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to decipher this chart." And I was reading, the written instructions. So the written instructions are really good. even for a non proficient crocheter. But then after a couple of rows, I think maybe I can look at the chart. So then I looked at the chart, and I like how you highlighted. It made more sense, and how you highlighted the like the different rows, like the alternating rows are highlighted differently, like not highlighted in a different
they're
color.
Just in a gray.
Yeah, gray and then dark.
It's very subtle, but yeah.
Yeah, because I would have had a hard time deciphering that if it wasn't for that. And also, I think if I were to Xerox it, you might not have be able to see the difference. But since I have everything digitally, it's all in my iPad, so I can see that. I'm gonna try the mesh part and see how that looks. I only brought one hook with me, so if I decided to, though I'll be home by the time it starts. So I still have enough time to do some more swatching and practicing, because I want to practice it. I want to make sure that my gauge is consistent more than anything, because when I'm as a knitter who crochets, my crochet gauge is not always consistent. Like you can see, like from the beginning of the project to the end of the project is different. So I just want to make sure it's consistent before I actually start the whole thing, the garment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of what I'm gonna make, there's so many things I want to make, and actually there's quite a bit that I think I've got enough yarn for. Like, so there's the mittens from this issue 5 at the moment. I'm like, I want to make that, and I've got yarn that I could make that, as well as I don't have it in the room, but there's a shawl in issue 5 that's it's a triangular shawl, and then it's got like sort of florally botanical textural motif all along it. It's called the wind.
Oh, so you
shawl,
don't have all of
WHIN.
You don't have all of them?
I do. I just know it's in the other room because I was doing something.
Well, why
with
don't you show what you have real quick? All the ones that you have behind you. Because our listeners and subscribers get the benefit of live previews.
I guess. I was like, I could save it from the next episode.
But the next episode, you're going to be here.
Oh yeah, you're right. So the mittens, this is King Gussie. This is the test if I can remember all the names. Got a little end sticking out. So yeah, that one's got like the cables down the back of the hand, and so that's done with short rows and slip stitches. And I wish I could show you. I'm hopefully going to get the print copies on Friday, but me and the tech editor, we were like trying to wrap our head around, because I've not done. I tried to do mittens like this one time and didn't get very far, and so I've had to draw a sort of like map, just to show people like, okay, so you go this way, and then you go this way, and then you finish this short row.
Oh, so there's a lot of short rows.
Obviously, yeah. So that's how you make the cables, and you read the instructions in it, and it does make sense. But having that map means that you've got that along with the instructions, and it hopefully you don't go too wrong. And then this is the menswear jumper I mentioned. This is Urlik Dawn.
I love that. I love that the pine detail on the bottom.
Yeah, so it's just simple stitches, Tunisian crochet, but color work. So the bottom has these sort of like pine trees at the bottom, which are sort of a similar look to Sivu from issue 1 with the that sort of. Although in that one they looked more like leaves, and it was done with post stitches, so it was very textural instead of color work. And then there's another pine tree on the the bottom of the sleeve, and then like the cuffs are, and the ribbing at the bottom is done in a different color. So yeah, that's a nice jumper. The other jumper that is also, I love very
that one.
Sort of gender neutral. We've done it in just a cream color. This is Stravag, and it has a sort of like mini diamond cables on the front, and then just like a high ribbed collar at the top.
That looks so
And
cozy.
that one's, yeah, it's very cozy. And this was, so yeah, we've got it modeled by both, I think, Haley and Will. So you can see it on a man and a woman. And another garment design is Fenella. This one's quite funky. I think this might be one of those like love it or hate it sort of things. It's just loop stitch all along the front, so it's very squishy.
You can't wear that if you have cats.
Or you can't. It is plain on the back though, so it just doesn't completely eat up. I mean, it does eat up yarn, but not. Yeah.
Well, if you decided to do the back too, you can do that. Just buy more yarn.
Yeah, you could just do it. Yeah, completely in loop stitch if you want. And it's got like big holes for the arms. And then this one I just took off is a cowl. This is La Resilience. And that's done in, that is, I'm not actually sure what the name for the crochet technique is, because it's not, I don't think you call it mosaic because but you do work one color at a time. So it's maybe not as complicated as it may look.
They look almost like owl eyes.
Oh, they do, like little stacked owls. Yeah. But yeah, there's sort of like almost like like sheaves of wheat almost.
I see that now. General, yeah, it depends on how you're looking at it, what you're focusing on.
Yeah. Or just general sort of like leaves. And then there's like little bobbles at the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see in the inside it just looks stripy.
Oh, that looks great. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Cowl. And I've got another hat over here. This is thistledown.
Oh, that looks really squishy.
Big pom-pom, and then sort of like very small cables.
Yeah. So I picked the Zani because I wanted something that didn't look like knitting.
Or looked very distinctly crochet.
Yeah. That's basically something that you look at it and then you know it's crochet, rather than something that you have to look carefully. Like, is that knitting or is it crochet? So I didn't want to do that.
And then this is the Fealty Hap. It's really big. I couldn't. So it's right here. It's folded in half.
So basically, it's a blanket.
It's basically a blanket. It's done in a lace weight.
Oh wow!
It's supposed to be. It's inspired by like Shetland lace shawls. So it's a square, which you can. I mean, you could wear it in so many ways. You could use it as a blanket because it's really big. You could fold it in a triangle and wear it as a shawl. And it's also written in 3 different sizes.
Oh, okay.
Partially just to, I mean, it's something that I don't know if it's too much shame or not, but like I hadn't really thought about, because obviously we think about having different sizes for like garments to fit, different people. But then for a shawl, you think, oh, it's a one size garment or accessory, but actually a smallish shawl is going to wrap around different size people differently if it doesn't come in different sizes. So this one is written
I really
sizes.
I really like the fact that it's a rectangle, or is it a square or a rectangle?
It's a square.
It's a square, that it's not a triangle, because I think a triangle limits the ways you can wear it, and also the fact that it's lace weight. I mean, I feel like that would go so much faster than doing like a similar shawl, knitting something like that. So put that in my queue.
Yeah, I think this would definitely be like a sort of mindless, because the body of it is just in one stitch pattern, and then you've got a little border along the whole thing.
You can even do the border in a different color.
Yeah. And then the one knitted project.
Oh, this is the knitted ones.
Yep, this is the knitted one. And similar to the hat that I designed, it's got so this is designed by Jeanette Sloan, and she's called this the decanter stitch. So this is also inspired by sort of whiskey glasses.
Okay.
It's really pretty. It's
It
got
is pretty.
The texture just at sort of like the bottom of the hand.
Is it
plain stitch at the top.
Is it two yarns held together, or is it no?
No.
No. Okay, that one's going in my queue too.
Hold on. There's 3 more. So this is the triangle one I was talking about. This is Win. It's triangle shawl, and you can see the pattern.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Like, I don't know, how would you describe that? I always like struggle. Like, it's not floral.
No, it looks like
exactly, but it's like,
no, it looks like flower buds.
Yeah, like, and then they just go along the whole surface of it. It's very textural. So that's Win. And then we've got another wrap. This is Safterlicht. And it's like, it's just a rectangle wrap, braided tassel at the end, and done. So it's like a sort of gingham colorwork pattern. But it's quite simple, but it's just so.
Oh, it looks so comfy and cozy. Is that 3 colors then? I'm assuming.
Yep. So that's 3 colors.
Nice.
And then the last one is another jumper. This is Kylo, and it has sort of faux braided cables at the front.
That's like super on trend right now.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen West.
Yeah, but you started designing that before the Stephen West one came out.
Yeah, or the proposal. The proposal came in before that.
Yeah.
So it's got those sort of like
loops. They're loops.
Those loops. Yeah, that are just like kind of threaded into each other, and then it's got like sort of wide balloony sort of sleeves, and that one's really cute as well. So those are all the issues from issue 5. Hopefully I didn't miss anything looking around my messy room. But yeah, like I said, like it's like I'm sure I've got yarn that I can make the mittens with, and I know I have enough yarn that I can make this in sort of like, I think the color I have is closer to Kylo, a sort of rustier orange as opposed to a sort of goldenrod-y yellow. Like I definitely, so I think I have enough yarn to make that as well. And then I think I have some yarn to make the Cardigan cowl from issue 2. It's the alpaca rose.
Oh yeah,
I'd have to make like a shorter version.
It's in the white. It's white in the.
Yeah, it's in a whitish color, but I have like a lavender color that I've had since, I don't know, for years and years and years.
So I bought that yarn for something else in March. Yeah.
But I think what I'm gonna try and make is Kishi. So throwing it back to issue 1, which is the vest in issue 1, the sort of basket weave vest.
The really squishy one. Yeah, the squishy one.
So that is made with 2 sort of like lace weights held together. So I bought the yarn for it, and it's not quite color-wise. Like, actually, not color-wise. So what I've gone for is a Rowan Cashmere Haze. Because it was on sale. I think they're discontinuing it. So it's made with baby alpaca, cashmere, and silk. And then a Jameson and Smith, the 2-ply lace weight, which doesn't come in as many colors as some of their other lines, so it's a little limited. I couldn't find anything as similar to the cashmere haze that I picked, so I picked a sort of taupey, light taupe.
It'll look good together. Yeah.
And then more of like a medium reddish brown in the Jameson and Smith. But they're both light brown, so I think it will work. So that is my plan. I'm gonna make Kishi for the cowl, and if I were a more prolific crafter, I'd be like, and I'm gonna make the mittens, and I'm just gonna try. We're gonna try the vest. So yeah.
So that's what we have. That's all we have for this time. The next time you'll be here. Hopefully we'll get a chance to record together. Because you'll be taking a few weeks to take care of Emily and the baby. It'll be your turn. So
yeah.
So I think it's time for you to do your spiel.
Yep. You can find the show notes for this episode and every episode on our website, which is kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. You can follow us on Instagram, also at kcacypodcast. My personal Instagram is Alyson here, and my mom's is upstate_Viv. You can subscribe and like and comment and rate and review and favorite and all the things on YouTube or any other podcast app. You can join our Ravelry group. Just search for Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast in the groups tab. Thank you for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry yarn. Bye.
Bye.